Perfect. Now it's live, so it's being recorded. Okay, so I'm gonna go over kind of reclaiming the sorcerer, how I came up with that, and then or the embrace your darkness. I'm sorry, and then you can ask me any questions that you have, and then we'll kind of go over like some ways that we can come up with something, or kind of like guide like some options for her for your client. Does that sound good?
That sounds awesome. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this page, Jordana and I sat down and we literally just kind of brainstormed about like what people needed from this program. So one of like the aspects of what she's teaching here is like a light and dark kind of comparison, like the labels that people give, like good and bad behavior type of thing. And I'm not talking about like silly things like murder. Like I'm talking about like the way like people judge other people, or like not things that are obviously bad. So she was basically like trying to teach people to take vulnerability and take it as their strength. And I don't know, I think I've added you to Jenna and Jordana's group, but if you've seen one of their, like, just the way that they talk in that group is really like talking about like embracing everything, including the negative about you, because that's part of what's going to make you stronger when you actually like face the fear. Does that make sense? Just like any other thing in your life.
Right.
So that was one of the really big points, and challenges are really big right now because they challenge people to make a change instantly, which is a really good marketing tactic because a lot of people want like instant results, and this was a way of giving that to them.
Okay.
So we hadn't even really talked about how to sell. Like a challenge was just one of the tactics that I get really excited about because I think it's really fun supporting people. So as soon as like I had mentioned this, like we were brainstorming back and forth, she goes, that's exactly it. Like that's what I want to talk about. So let's do it. So we kind of came up with, like what it meant. We did some Facebook ads for it. But when we were down here creating these points, like, and this is something to kind of like keep a note for you and for, I'm sorry, what's her name? Diane?
Yeah, Diana.
Okay. Diana, when you're making this page for her, like what's really important is to not have a lot of copy.
Okay.
Because if you have a video on the page like this, like people are already watching that. Making sure the video is probably like no more than a minute or two long, super important, because people's attention span for marketing is really, really short. Another thing that you'll notice about this copy is it's broken down in bullet points, and it tries to be straight to the point, but like still in Jordana's tone of like, she's very, very spiritual and woo, and I'm not really into like the sorcerer message, but the message of what she delivers is one of the reasons that I'm really passionate about working with her. So I write in her same voice, we talk the same, so that's easy for me to do. But it's really important, like when you're looking at the copy, like you're not just throwing like miles and miles of text in there, because I would say about 8 out of 10 people don't read it. Some people do, but 8 out of 10 don't. They're really just looking to get the straight answer of like, what are you going to do for me? Does that make sense? Like, tell me what you're going to fix, or tell me what I'm going through, and then tell me how you're going to fix it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So, again, like maybe you want to create copy, maybe you don't, but that's like one of the things, like when I created this page, that's the way we laid it out. So this model is actually something that probably takes me about an hour to make. You do your banner, you do your video, and then you do your opt-in box. Now, it was important for us to put like the date and the what the challenge is all about above the fold. And I'm sure you've heard that term. This is actually on my big screen, so none of this is above the fold. It's probably right around here, like half video, half opt-in box is where the fold is at on a regular laptop. And most people are playing on their phone and what is it called? An iPad. I was looking for the right word. Sorry. So, like when you're creating the opt-in page, like it's important to get literally the most basics of the information at the very, very top. So that's why, like, okay, so the name of what you're doing, the banner, the hosted by. So that's for like name recognition, so people start to see who she is as she becomes bigger and bigger in the world.
Right.
And then exactly what it is. So it's a free 5-day challenge all about embracing and loving your darkness as the most magical and soulful part of you. So this is like a little more like not as concrete, like it's more vague, but it's also very clear that like she's working with the type of people who understand this kind of language. Does that make sense? Like, this may not be clear to people who are not spiritual, but people who are spiritual kind of understand it a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then the other important thing is like a date, like putting a time or a date or a very specific information about when it's occurring so they see that information right away.
Mm-hmm.
One marketing tactic that people use is like automatic playing videos. Jordana doesn't like those. I do, but I kind of understand why people don't like them. It feels icky to like force people to pay attention to you right away. So either way, like I could encourage for you to do either or, to be completely honest, because either way, they're interested or they're not interested. So,
Right.
you know, usually people see video and they want to hit play right away. Another thing is like honestly taking most distractions out of the page. So like as you can see, like there's a lot of fucking white space. Like this is honestly one of the prettier pages I've created for her. But most importantly, like looking at this and like knowing exactly what you're looking for, exactly what you're going to get out of it, and then the order of like left to right. People obviously read left to right, so that's why you put the video and then the opt-in box. Putting more than one opt-in box is sometimes helpful because some people will come down here and read this, and they may be uninterested by scrolling back up. That's probably really stupid, and I don't actually know the facts on that conversion. But like, I don't remember if it was this page, but I created 2 different pages, and I'll show you these just so you can kind of use them as reference points.
Okay.
But I'll show you really quick.
Now, while you're pulling that up, I have a question. So when you said video or no video, then if you didn't have video, then would you just fill that space with the opt-in box?
I would fill it with the information. So I actually just did a page, which I don't like, but it's not awful. So this is a page I just did and helped somebody design. She has zero branding. Sorry. Zero branding, doesn't really know. So this is kind of what I filled it with. I originally had just a picture of her because, again, like she hosted it. But she's like, I actually want a picture of all the experts, so we did that. So the fold is somewhere around here, but look again, like the name of what it is, exactly what they're getting in the sentence, the date and the time, and then, you know, some like catchy line about what they're getting. And then she wanted to go on and on and on. I thought it was stupid. That was really rude. I hope nobody ever sees this video.
I'll make sure of it.
I don't agree with like all the strategies. Like my strategy is like minimal as possible. It's not always best to just do this. Like there are some pages, I didn't write this one, but I did the layout of this one. Like she gave me the copy and said, can you put this together? And this was for Jordana. Not the sorcery girl, but my wives. So she gave me all this information, like was like, oh, you should put this here. So like I just made this banner for her really quick. Obviously, like you see the information right away, and look, she has a bunch of copy, and she got over a few hundred people to sign up for this, by the way. So, you know, the strategies are so different. Like we could put an opt-in box above this. Like right here, we could put one, and then put the rest of this text below. Some people are just scrolling looking for certain answers. Again, it really just depends on your style because I've created so many different things, and I want to show you two more, sorry, because they did webinars, which I think webinars are amazing because people really like to see other people. Where is it? We'll do this one. So this page converted at 55%. Which is a really, really big conversion. So the name or the banner of like what the webinar is how to balance human expectations and spirituality. So she had originally named it something else, and we realized what we were saying like wasn't very concrete, so people were clicking away because they didn't know what to expect. So 55% of the people who came to this page registered, which is really, really big. I think 30% is like good. So it's, again, like same format. Very, very short, repeating the register button. You know, this pops up, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, that's just oops. That's one page of an example of super, super basic, but all of the information is above the fold. You're being so annoying right now. Sorry, hold on just a second. There we go. Here's when it's hosted. It's at 10 a.m. I did like some cute quote here, and I created these graphics, but I have Photoshop, so that's kind of part of why like I can make like these like elegant or looking banners. Like I'm definitely not a graphic designer.
Yeah, but that looks really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. It looks really good, but some people also don't have the capability um, of creating these pages because of the way that their layout is predetermined, which is one of the reasons I like OptimizePress. But OptimizePress also has like a lot of things that don't, like there's too much space. You can't add backgrounds, and like I'm just not adept in coding, so I'm not familiar with that portion of it.
Right.
But OptimizePress has some really good templates that you can use. And sometimes you may have to go into their OptimizePress hub and go download them. But I actually bought OptimizePress for myself, and they have some really good templates. So that's another good place to like look for some good examples of good converting like layouts of ways that you can kind of help, because using these layouts is kind of what I use to help people strategize. So and there's one more that again, like it was just completely, it's the same idea, but it's completely different. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I think it's B School. Or this is her bonus. Yep, hold on just a second. Let me see. Generate passwords for me. Rude. Hold on, let me grab the password over here. Sorry.
Okay.
But she was doing a webinar, and that's when I realized she had created a page, and then sorry, give me just a second.
So when she does a webinar, then how did she lay it out after, like as far as, I mean, then it's obviously people are just watching a video of her, right?
Yeah, you do a soft sell at the end. Some people don't do a sell and they send an email. Some people are like, hey, if you just kind of want to check this out, I have some extra tools for you. Like it really doesn't have to be awkward or weird or super salesy. You just need to do whatever's on brand for her. Does that make sense? Like it's really like encouraging them to have a conversation and still market, but in a way that feels comfortable for them. And I know like you're not quite at that point where it's like you're gonna go and give like millions of dollars worth of marketing advice. Like I'm not even at that point.
Right.
But it's definitely like looking at like people aren't gonna buy from you if you're awkward. Like people can feel that. Like it's like when people are in the mall trying to sell you something.
Right.
You can tell like you avoid it. Like you can't help it because salesy people make you feel gross.
Right.
So, when you're having that conversation, like you're trying to make sure that you're having the conversation in a way that you are comfortable offering, but also hearing no. Because it doesn't offend you. Like you just want to bring a product to the table that brings value. And like obviously this is something that is like super close to her heart after all of that drama with her husband.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's, I don't know if I would encourage you to coach her or how I would put that, but I would 1,000% like encourage you to, support her in a way, that encourages her to sell that way. Like whether it's a really soft email or another series, or she sells it on the call. She can even say like, I have a super special gift for you after this that I've been putting together that I would love for you to check out, and like that's pretty much it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be anything. There's so many different ways. So like you guys could work on like how like you want to put this call together, and then we can have like another call based on that.
Okay.
Where's the webinar one? She probably deleted it. Trash. Publish. Mm, I think she did delete it. Where's the trash? Drafts? Published? I think she deleted it because she knows she's no longer using it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, maybe not. Maybe it's this one. That's actually incorrect. This is not my page. Okay. It really doesn't matter. Long story short, like these pages are just super simple. Put the information out there, and more people are going to opt in. But it needs to be really obvious, like whether it's copy or a video. You know, and you want to make like inviting people to this like simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I have a free call for you. Here's what it's about. We're going to teach these things. Sign up to join the call here. Click here to get to the sales page. So making it super easy for them to sign up is really, really, really important. So again, like some of that is like the rule of like above the fold. I don't necessarily, like I said, agree with only have stuff above the fold, but in a case where like they're signing up for this, like people just click away so fast, and that's why it's a rule of like you just want to give them the most information possible, or if you're putting information up top, make it really interesting so they want to scroll down. Does that make sense?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you can use any of these as like layouts or examples. Other people have done way amazing examples. Lead Pages has some really like they have like good converting page examples. I know you're not using Lead Pages, but sometimes they have templates. You know what I mean? Of like different.
Yeah.
And I'll show you. This is perfect. Opt-in. And you can organize this like based on conversion. So like simple email opt-in, just a video and register now. Like this is a great example. Like they don't even fucking have any copy on it. They have a really cool picture and your logo and like and these are all like a little more modern looking. Like I couldn't create this without using a template because I'm not a graphic designer and I'm not even going to pretend to be.
Right.
All these different templates, like I would literally just look, you know, in a way to lay out the page, but I would also encourage her not to overkill. So if you think something's overkill, it most likely is. Okay. Emailing her list when she's only got 500 people on her list, like whether it's just a few hundred or 800, that's a lot. And 800 isn't as many as you think, depending on how she's trained her list to buy. Because if she hasn't sold to them yet, selling them a high-end product is going to be hard. Okay. You have to think of it this way, like lots of people will walk into a store and shop around, but they most likely aren't going to buy from you unless it's something they really, really want. So you kind of have to train your list to basically buy. So of sales emails all of a sudden about this free call that you're doing sense.
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're cutting out.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, okay. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying that if somebody slammed you with a sales, or someone came to you and said, like, are you interested in buying this? Like, you'd be more likely to buy something if they were both selling the same thing from somebody who is, like, a little bit more customer-oriented towards you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so that's kind of the idea of, like, being really customer-oriented about the way that you talk to your list. And everybody talks differently, so it's not about you have to say certain things. But when you're putting together that email, I mean, the emails that I put together for this were super, super woo, like super, like, spiritual and, like, talking about all these different things, but they were still very short. They were, like, maybe 200 words and said, click here to go see day one's video. You know what I mean? So I would give them, like, a taste of what the video was going to say. I would say, this is where, click here to go see day one, and then, you know, something at the bottom that said, like, tell us how you're doing in the Facebook group. So it's kind of always telling them what to do, like having a call to action, which I'm sure you know what a call to action is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So using the call to action, making sure it's very basic, like sign up for your free call here, sign up for, you know, the course here, sign up here. You know, making sure like that from the time that they hear about the free call to the time that you get to the sale, that you're being really specific and gentle and on brand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Especially like in the topic that you guys are dwelling in. Like it's going to be obviously like a very sensitive topic.
Exactly.
So, obviously just making sure to like dabble in that topic, you know, in a way that's, again, like I'm sure she knows, like she needs to be gentle.
Yeah.
I think I'm rambling at this point and repeating myself.
She talks about that a lot, about how she wants it to be gentle. She doesn't want it to be like a hard sell. So my question though is, okay, so you created this page in an Optimized Press, and then you created a series of emails, and then they clicked over to this page. They signed up for the call, and then during the call is when when she starts talking about what it is she's going to sell, the six classes that she's going to teach, and then she's going to have another sales page for them to sign up for that class. Correct?
Correct. So you'll have what's called an opt-in page, which is what this is,
right?
Or a landing page.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll also have your sales page, and a sales page is specific to like a product or a course. Correct. So if you go to like this, if you go to the main page for this is a sales page. Like this is the product, the course that she's selling. And so this is kind of, you know, like this whole page is selling the product. Here's all of the details on, you know, what the course contains, you know, and these are buy buttons. So along the page, like this is like having an opt-in box along the page. Here's the buy button. You know, about them, testimonials, a frequently asked questions section, bonuses that they're getting, about the course. Here's like very short copy. Like as you can see, like it's not that much. It's a lot, but it's not. You know, kind of hitting on their pain points, building them up to come figure out if this is the right course for them. You know, and here's their pain points of things that they field pretty often. These are same thing, pain points, more copy. Like this is really long. I wrote this, I designed this. I didn't do the banner, my graphic designer did it, but like I put this whole page together. But this is a sales page, this is an opt-in page.
Okay, so
I would say, go ahead, I'm sorry.
When they opt in, then did you create then a thank you page? So is she like with MailChimp, or what is she?
So she uses One Shopping Cart.
Oh, okay.
I did create one thank you page, and I'll show you that right now, sorry, which was just super simple. It honestly says like what to expect, so they're super clear. On like what's coming next. Like the first thing it says is, awesome, I'm so excited you're here. Check your inbox ASAP to get all the info about how this challenge is going to work. So I'm telling them what to do. I'm telling them like, here's the next steps of how we're going to be working together. And then I went the extra mile to just give them the note about like what the next 5 days are going to look like, because sometimes like stuff gets lost in translation. Okay. And then in the email, the welcome email, where they registered for the call, I gave them all the information, the date it was starting, and a link to the Facebook group. And then in all of the emails I put together for this challenge, I put a link in. Repetition's really important. I put an email to the Facebook group and told them to share with us every single time in every email. Okay. And then the soft sale, like this isn't over, but like the soft sale at the end of this is going to be kind of like, so we created this really cool course. If you felt like this challenge was something amazing for you, if you want to check it out, here's more information. Click to go see the sales page. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm hoping to get from you, so that I understand, is that like a flow chart of, okay, I need to go into Optimized Press, and I need to create the opt-in page. And then from there, you know, are they going to get a thank you page? How's that going to work? Or once they sign up for the free call, then they're going to get a welcome email. And where am I going to, you know, so I need to figure out, to make sure that I'm doing it correctly, the logistics of where I'm sending them and how they're getting that information.
Okay, so whoever her provider, like your very first step is to create the opt-in page. Okay. Part of the opt-in page is creating a new list, a new opt-in box, and creating a welcome email, and then also having a thank you page, because most providers like let you create a custom thank you page. A custom thank you page is just really a good way to satisfy your people who are like signing up for the challenge, to get them information right away, because sometimes emails don't come right away.
Right.
On the thank you page, I would always include some kind of important information or instruction. Like, don't just say thanks, can't wait to hang out. You know, like, that's good to say like personable things like that, but saying also like, this is who you're going to get the email from, or, you know, tomorrow you're going to get a new email. Basically giving them as much information as possible encourages them to participate, show up for the call, whatever. So once you have your opt-in page with your opt-in box, with your thank you page, and your welcome email, you're all set up for the challenge. Or, I'm sorry, not the challenge. You're set up for your opt-in page. That's all you need, those 4 things. Thank you page, opt-in box, welcome email.
Okay. Okay, now, before you move on, I'm going to create the opt-in page in OptimizePress. She's a MailChimp user.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the opt-in box through MailChimp.
Yep.
And then the thank you page is through MailChimp, and the welcome page too?
No, create the thank you page through the website. Like, create it through OptimizePress.
Okay, Optimize. And same with the welcome page?
It's not a welcome page, it's a welcome email.
Oh, okay. And so that's through MailChimp?
Yes. And that's called an autoresponder.
Yes.
And I'm sure you already know what an autoresponder is.
Yep.
But it's obviously an autoresponder for a reason. Like, you want to send them a welcome email via the autoresponder.
Okay, so they're going to click on and they're going to sign up, and then they're automatically going to get popped up like a awesome
thank you page.
Have you here. And then once they'll go to their inbox, and that will be the welcome email, the autoresponder.
Correct. And the autoresponder should typically have all the details of the event, like the event or whatever opt-in you're handling. When is it starting? What do I need to have? What do I need to do? Do I need to dial in? Do I need to log into this link? Do I need to have my camera ready because we're doing a Google Hangout? You want to give them very specific directions. And obviously, don't make it boring. Like, put some personality in there. But in general, in the welcome email, like, those are the elements that you want to include.
Okay, and then do you suggest sending like an email like the day before the call, the morning of the call? What's your thoughts on that?
Reminders, absolutely. Reminders are perfect. When we did the webinars, Webinar Jam happens to have reminder systems in it, but I would just use MailChimp to just set up reminders like, we'll see you in an hour. I can't wait to hang out with you. Here's all the information again, just in case you didn't see it. We're going to see you in 5 minutes. Here's all the information again. I wouldn't send more than 3 total.
3 total, okay. So
yeah, I would usually do day before, an hour before, when you're starting, like 5 minutes before you start. Okay. Like, and subject line should be like, we're starting in an hour, or we're starting right now, can't come hang out, or, you know, and can't wait to hang out with you tomorrow. Like, something that's reminding them, like, that's what the email's saying. Right. Like, we have a free call tomorrow. I can't wait to hang out with you. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, completely.
So they know, like, it's not spam, it's an email, like, as a reminder. And sometimes when you do email reminders, and I'll type this up top, and you can write it down if you want. I do like that. Like, I put, like, in the brackets, reminder. And I'm sure you've seen that in newsletters.
Yes, yes.
It just flags them to know this is what's showing up in your inbox. People, like, want to know exactly what you're creating for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Awesome. So the other, you had more questions. Go ahead.
No, that was it on that. Yeah. Okay. You just told me also, too, if you need to go.
No, I don't. You're fine.
Okay.
I stopped working at 2 now, so.
I know, I saw that on your thing, and then I was like, oh, wait, I'm meeting her at 2. Why? I'm meeting her.
No. I know. I need to go change my calendar, but I like what I'm doing right now. Like, I wouldn't be doing this with you if I didn't want to. So.
Thank you.
It doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. Okay, so do you want to talk about, like, the sales conversation? Or do
No.
you? Okay.
So most of the things that I want to, or what I want to do is watch you go into Optimize Press and see how you start that and how you do that.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So I didn't use Optimize Press for these pages.
Oh,
Um, I used a custom theme that I used on her main page. But I have Optimize Press on this page or on this website, so I can still show you how to use it. Because we're
well,
actually, I'm
what do
sorry,
you
go ahead.
mean by you used a custom theme? Where is that?
So a theme is the layout of the website. Like I use something that like lets me create layouts for the website without coding. So this theme is actually really similar. If you're like, it was the theme that you played with, I think, in my opt-in page. Um, when you're looking at it, you go and edit. You can't install this individually, or else I would tell you to use it. But she already has a theme. Like she already has a type of website that she's using. So
Mm-hmm.
like look, like this is the same thing as Optimize Press. There's a plus button, there's a row, there's a video specific element that you can use to edit. Is this making sense, like what I'm saying? Let me
Yeah.
know if I'm not being clear. Okay. So it's the same thing, it's just a more modern version of it. And it's a little cleaner than Optimize Press, which is why I like it, but I still like Optimize Press, if that makes sense. And Optimize Press is a good tool to use um, for somebody who already has a theme, such as Diana.
Okay.
Because you can't add another theme on top of another theme, you can only choose one or the other. Does
Oh,
that make sense? Like
yeah.
it, I mean, I can show you literally, like, look, themes, and I'll bring it up and show you that it's not a program or a plugin, it's a layout. So like this is the layout of her website that I created, and
Mm-hmm.
then this is a different type of layout, and this is another style layout, and this is another one. So I can only choose one. It doesn't let you have two at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Optimize Press is not it can be a theme, but it's also a plugin. So I would just go to Page Builder
Okay.
to start. Put in the name of your page, which I'll just say Danelle. Oops. Example. And then you can choose to use a blank page, or you can use a content template. This kind of gives you like some pages that like they already have preset. Like you can see, like I like this one because it just looks different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but all of these different templates, you can also download some templates from their Optimize Hub, she should give you the Optimize Press login. If not, you can have mine and you can go download the template and upload it. But these are just like, they'll pre-generate some content on it for you, and then you can just replace it. So I'll start with a blank page because you have like some templates that you can choose from. That's the name of your page, is Danelle Example. It automatically creates a URL, but you can create your own. Now these are the different types. Like a membership page is, this is pretty obvious. If it's a membership page, it's people who have to log in. A marketing site page is a sales page. The landing page is an opt-in page. Does that make sense?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I always choose landing page. I usually end up deleting half the elements they have in them. These are different opt-in pages. This has become a little bit popular, but not super popular. It's something where it's like the most basic of info. You click to read more. I haven't found that they're super amazing, but it's something that I have also seen. So again, like you're seeing all these different styles they use, but look, text, video, opt-in box.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So super, super, super basic. You can style it differently. It is not like a thing to only style it the way that I do. It's just what I like, and it converts well. So, but they had some examples in lead pages where you could do the same thing. So I'm just going to choose this one, and that's fine. Oops.
So if I was to do this in lead pages, it's a plugin as well, correct?
It's a plugin as well, and they give you some templates, but they're not as customizable unless you're paying for lead pages.
Okay.
And somebody wanted me to create it in lead pages, and I've done it before, but not like a lot. And then I realized as I was creating her page that it only lets you edit the content if you buy the package. So it was like, okay, so we might as well just buy Optimized Press because it's completely customizable.
Okay.
All of this is going to be, for the sake of this page, don't worry about any of this. Because all you really want to work with is a basic page. Like you want to work with a basic page that you can customize and edit.
Okay.
So here's your basic page. Give it a second to load, sorry. It experiences a little bit of errors in here because this plugin is broken on this website, so ignore that. But obviously, like, have you used Optimized Press before?
I've just played around in it.
Okay. So everything is really super simple. If you want to add an element, hit Add Element. Then you have all these different boxes of things you can add. I played in Optimized Press a lot before I was like, oh, I'm perfect at it. So this was a really like fun way to start to learn how to create pages that look really good. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that was definitely something that, sorry, I just played with a lot of this, but it's all really self-explanatory. Something that I do so I don't have to scroll is like I'll type in video, and then you go to video player.
Okay.
And sometimes it does this where it like freezes. I need to, I guess, maybe click it again. Maybe not. It's not working. But in Optimized Press will do that sometimes. It will just not work. And I usually have to shut down my computer before I want to kill it. Yeah, see, it's not letting me click on anything.
So let's like you're just like I could if like let's just say for if she wanted like her banner at the top or she wanted something, it's just mainly adding the element, it's kind of just like
building on the page.
Okay, yeah, I
like get how you see it here is how it will look. Like you can see like view public link. How you see it in the back end is how it appears in the front end.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay.
So, obviously it's not like that like when you look at a blog or something, but this is like super, super basic, a really good way to like start playing around and kind of see how things are doing. Another really important thing is like Optimized Press has some pre-generated like text. Like basically like they set like the text and the color of like the most basic font for you. So the way you would change that is going into typography settings, and that's obviously like typing is where you're going to find different types of fonts and sizes. So I hopefully I just made sense. I just kind of like trailed off. But this is like an example again of here's all these, you know, somewhat cool, awesome fonts that you can use. You know, theme text paragraph styles is like the default theme that you use in like a regular text that you bring up. Size title, site tagline, headings, like setting the different fonts for these, opt-in box, arrow text, like we could go on and on and on, but this is, I would literally just play with it and find it and see what works for you. Okay. And if you have questions, like I can obviously help you. But this is where you can set the settings for that and then hit update, and it'll change the overall text of the whole page for you. Okay. If she has like certain branding, that's why I use I use Photoshop to create the banners, because I like things to be on brand. Like this challenge, like these are her fonts and her brand and the colors. Right. So that's why we use these fonts, and that's why I created it in Optimized, or not in Optimized Press, in Photoshop. What else for Optimized Press? Do you have questions about?
No, and then when you're done, you're just you have a link, obviously, that you view, like right there off to the left hand side, you said view public link. Yep. And then
and it's important, you know how like when you're in WordPress, like it's a draft or publish, it's important that in order for your link to be live, that you have it on publish, not on draft.
Oh, okay.
And then also like obviously save and continue, save and close. Like there's
obviously, I mean, Like the other day, I had sent you something, and I didn't have her blog as published. But it's
Mhm.
fine to do that even before we send out anything, because that's obviously the only way you're going to view it, and no one can get to it or see it unless they know the link, right?
Whose blog are you talking about? I'm really sorry.
No, that's okay. I was was Stacy's, I think it was. This, I don't remember, but I didn't have the link set on
Oh,
publish.
it wasn't live.
Yeah,
It wasn't live.
right.
Okay.
So my question is that I can make it live and publish it obviously well before we're ready to send out all of this stuff. It's fine to do that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Because
Hmm.
really, the most important part of all of that is like make it live when it's ready, but nobody's gonna see it.
Right.
How are they gonna know that you created a random page? Like, there's no physical announcement out there saying you created the page, so there's nothing to worry about. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, so this all totally makes sense. I was more, wanting to know like how, I mean, the first step that you went over was perfect. Like the flow of it, how it goes, how do I talk to to give her tips on, because I don't know, she just was kind of all over the board. And then the first video that she sent me was like 3 minutes long, and you mentioned it needs to be more like one or two. I mean, that's going to be really great things for me to be able to tell her, because I was just like, oh my God, this is so long. You've lost me.
And there will be a way to have longer videos, but I would say if this is her first exploration in it, like try to keep it to a minute so people pay more attention.
Hmm.
I mean, Jordana's someone who creates really long videos. And she's very experienced, so it's different, but she knows how and what to talk about and how to keep an audience interested.
Hmm.
But like Navjeet, for example, when her and I first started together, like she would talk forever in videos and be like very all over the place. Um, and you see, like in her writing, like she's very poetic, so that's kind of who she is. But there's a way to be poetic and direct at the same, and not direct, but concise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
There's a way to tell a story without rambling for 20 minutes. So
right.
like, like when I write, like I'm a rambler, so I consciously have to um bring myself back to not writing, like keeping myself like in the story that I'm telling and not talking about 20 other different things. So it's
Right.
the same thing when you're doing video or writing, like it's kind of like get to the point, but still bring love and energy or whatever it is that she brings to the table for this into your video, but definitely think like, I don't need to talk for 3 minutes. Like, I don't have that much to say in 3 minutes.
Right,
Like,
right.
people don't want to listen to me. I wouldn't say people don't want to listen to you talk for that long. I would not say that because that's probably damaging for the ego. But, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, is that helpful?
Yeah, that's totally helpful. That's perfect. This has been
Okay.
perfect. Exactly
Okay.
what I needed. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. So,
And go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Sorry, I was taking a drink of my coffee after I told you to go ahead. The one thing to pay attention to is making sure that you have her MailChimp synced with Optimized Press. There's a dashboard place that I'll show you really quick, but like look, I have one shopping cart synced, and now I would put in like the HTML code, or I would select a list. So it's important to do that because it saves you the headache of creating like an opt-in form that doesn't look good. Optimized Press has opt-in forms that already look good. Does that make sense? So like look how like clean and it stretches across the page versus like if I just hoped I got an opt-in box that fit into the page, it really wouldn't look that good. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you're saying create it or use the one that they have here, but then just make sure that I've added in
Yes.
the
Yes. Integrate the code either under custom form or do it under like making sure that you actually like sync it with, like for her it's one shopping cart, like I told you that's her mailing system, syncing it with MailChimp, and I'll show you where you sync it really quick, okay?
Okay.
Because that I feel like will probably be confusing if you've never done it before. You just go to Optimize Press, you go to Dashboard, and then you go to Email Marketing Services, and they have all of the email marketing services on here.
Oh, got it. Okay.
There's one shopping cart, there's MailChimp.
Okay.
And then just get the API key, and I would just Google how to find the API key. If you still can't find it, just let me know, and I'll do it for you.
Okay, perfect. Got it.
But then that will appear under the opt-in box section. It'll say like MailChimp or whatever list you have uploaded there. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, you were about to ask something. Go ahead.
No, I didn't. Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Do you have any other questions on this stuff?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to get in there and play around, and then if I have any, if you don't mind, I'll email you or shoot you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know what else you need help with, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. And then you'll just send me this recording because I know I'll go back and re-listen.
Yes, I will send you the recording.
Awesome. I love having those.
Oh, good. I'm glad. It saves me the energy of repeating myself.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've sent some of the videos I've sent to you to other people now because they asked me how to do stuff. And
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Awesome.
Let me know if you need anything else, okay?
I appreciate all your help. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Enjoy the rest of your day, love.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.